Yo, what's up? I'm Q Harrison Terry, one of LinkedIn's top voices in technology. And I want to talk about TikTok. What I mean by that is businesses, they need to use TikTok just as much as a regular user that wants to have fun and engage with it. And mainly one of the main drivers behind businesses wanting to get on TikTok is short form video is at an all-time high. I mean, TikTok alone has 1.5 billion users on the platform now. And in many regards, a lot of marketers or business owners are entering TikTok and saying, I don't necessarily know if this is a good fit for me. And so I wanted to take this time, just run through a few ideas, run through some things that I found interesting about TikTok at large, and then open up the discussion and just see kind of what the pulse is. Are businesses out there utilizing TikTok in a fashion? Do you think it's a fad or a trend? I would love to know. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments right now. I'll be in the chat momentarily, but I'm not going to be there like in real time. With that being said, I do want to jump into it and cover some things at a high level. So in the past week or so, TikTok has gotten some, I would say, unfavorable press in the sense that they've been pretty particular about what they allow on their platform, and there's not necessarily a a Bible of sorts that says this is what's allowed, this isn't what's allowed, or this is what we'll ban, this is what we won't allow. Obviously, it's a Chinese-owned platform, so you're going to see it in the press a lot in America about when they ban people for their freedom of speech. They made Bloomberg change their name, which I thought was quite fascinating. So here's Bloomberg, one of our larger media conglomerates here in the United States. They had a short form video millennial focused news app that was called TikTok, TICTOC, not TIKTOK. It was TIC. And they ended up changing it to Quick Take. They now have my initials, the QT. So Bloomberg, welcome to the club. With that being said, TikTok was then sued by a family out of Illinois. And what was fascinating about this is, one, we're starting to see a lot of tech companies from YouTube to many others get hit with these COPA violations. And if you're not familiar with COPA, COPA is essentially the Children's Online Privacy Act. It regulates what a tech company can collect on children with or without their parents' consent. And of course, TikTok being this very popular app amongst the Gen Z and just kids in general, well, they got hit with a COPA. They got hit with a COPA violation. And then they settled it one day after it was filed. They settled out of court, so we don't know the details. But I thought that this was super fascinating. And this is all stuff that happened in the last week. Like, I'm not even going back that far. And I read some articles. People are saying some things about TikTok, saying that, its appeal is waning and they're down, blah, blah, blah. I thought a lot of the headlines were misleading. Like, when you look at the actual numbers, so this is an actual article, TikTok this year has been installed by almost half a billion people this year. And before it's launched, it's been installed 1.4 billion times. Or no, since it's launched, it's been installed 1.45 billion times. And this article was published in October. So I was looking at that and I was like, man, like TikTok is really serious. And then I saw that there were some new marketing platforms such as TikTrack. Let's take a look at TikTrack. And what this is it's a marketing tool for TikTok. And what this does is it creates brand transparency for a brand. And what I mean by that is you need a map. You need to understand what trends are out there, what are the insights driving your platform, and who should you follow to stay ahead of the conversation and be a part of it. If you manage a brand and the expectation is you have to be on many platforms, well, it's really hard for you to do one platform really well just natively, right? You have to really be on that platform, live and breathe it, know what trends are emerging, know what the conversation is. TikTrack allows for that to happen. This is not built by the people behind TikTok. This is an agency. They've come out. They have a pricing plan that allows brands to work with them. They have a private beta that they're going on right now. And I think that this was interesting because if you're a select brand, of course, you can get access to this. If you're not in the game, well, you got to wait just like me. But that's okay. So we'll, come back and look at the things overall. And when I was looking at, what are brands doing on this video first future of e-commerce or short form video platforms, I was really impressed by an article that Andreessen Horowitz released. I'll show you this now. And I'm not going to read or reiterate this whole article. What I will say is in this article, they started to give me a blueprint for what B2B or B2C engagements look like on a platform like TikTok. And I think this is agnostic. So I'm going to use some examples from TikTok itself, but I'm also going to use some examples from Instagram in its short form video ways. Because at the end of the day, the rise of short form video content is here. They've arisen. You've got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube now has a short form video component through stories, and even Pinterest is starting to do some things with video in some fascinating ways. But with that, this Andreessen Horowitz article was really cool. I do want to showcase this example right here. Now, in this example, don't mind if there's a little bit of lag on the actual video. I'll include a link to this article, or you can just message me and I'll get you a link to this article so you can watch it in real time. But what's fascinating here is they were making a short form video showcasing the strength of their glass protector. And what's fascinating about this is people watch iPhone drop test videos all the time online. Why couldn't you do the same thing in a short form format of your screen protector? And that's exactly what's happening. And then, of course, there's an ad to buy it. But this all takes place not in 10 minutes like your traditional YouTube video, but within 15 seconds. So I thought that was pretty fascinating, right? Another thing that I thought was super fascinating was this whole concept of short form tutorials. Now, I can see a lot of brands out there utilizing something like this. What I mean by that is if you have a ton of knowledge or a book or a publication, and what you do is you help people be more creative, get more income, figure out more clarity in a very untransparent market, right? If you fall into that category, you have some short form videos that you can create that basically teach some of the knowledge that you have. And in the example, you're going to see a photographer demonstrate some of their tactics and techniques to get some of the cool photos that you see here in this video. And then at the end, they're selling a book online right here on TikTok. Now, I thought that this was fascinating because they're saying, hey, this technique is within the actual book. But instead of me like reading out an overview on what's in this book, I'm going to show you and demonstrate, my value through my actions. Now, I thought that this is all fascinating and dandy. I'm going to actually hop off of the Andreessen Horowitz article and hop into Instagram and showcase my last example. Now, this example is not on TikTok. It's actually on Instagram, but you could take this video and apply it to TikTok. It wouldn't be too hard. And let's take a look at what's happening. So on here, you see within a few seconds, this model is changing his clothes as if he were in a video game. And they're showcasing, Louis Vuitton lookbook. This is pretty fascinating because I can see this scrolling through, my feed, or I could see this being played on a TikTok feed. And it has a vibe to it. It's interactive. It's engaging. You can quickly look through many different looks all at once, and it's a virtual lookbook of sorts. So I thought that this was pretty cool. This demonstrates, what the clothes look like on person, what different color options there are. It's interactive and engaging in a video format, and can be done in less than 15 seconds. So this is probably what the future of catalogs look like. We went from a print world to, the Victoria's Secret fashion show dominating the over-the-air television. And now we're in this world where we probably will see the next great fashion brands dominate TikTok. And that's how they'll get attention and drive purchase awareness. Now, coming back, there is a final statement I kind of want to make in closing. Where I see a brand like TikTok really playing into my overall marketing strategy would necessarily be in the what if category. So, what if you could have an artificial intelligence algorithm curate your content for you and find new personas and match that with people that it thinks might actually be interested in your brand? Today, that's relatively hard to do without a lot of data, right? Because you would need to own a platform at which you're collecting tons of data on all of your users, understanding their habits, and then utilizing that data by analyzing it, creating content that you think will best be positioned in front of the people that you're not currently reaching, and then repeat the process until you get favorable results. Most brands don't have that type of resources at their disposal, nor do they really have the know-how or manpower to make that happen. So, in a world where TikTok does exist, what you could do is create a bunch of short form content, syndicate that short form content on a curated feed, and allow the algorithm to place it in front of the people that it feels is most worthy. And these are people that probably would have never discovered your brand in the first place. So if I were using TikTok, I would be using it in that form or fashion where it's like, hey, this is a shot in the dark, but I trust that these people are here. These are people that want to watch and engage with entertaining or fascinating content. I'm going to make that content and let the algorithm figure out who is best positioned. And I'm going to look at the insights on who's engaging with my content. And then I will make the decision on if TikTok is worth it for me as a brand or marketer. And that's the position, going into 2020 that I would take. I think that there's a lot of examples. The Andreessen Horowitz article has a plethora of examples, but AI as a salesperson is a super fascinating concept. And I think that this is just the precipice of where it could go. I think TikTok is showing us a way, but as we learned with this past decade, how Twitter and Facebook started is not where they ended up at the end of 2019. I remember Facebook in 2010, and I also remember Twitter in 2010. They look nothing like the Facebook with Facebook Watch, or the Facebook with the Instagram integration, or Twitter with real-time NBA feeds, or the Twitter with very sophisticated live streaming capabilities. All that stuff came and evolved over time. What will happen on AI based platforms where it's less about you following and discovering, your audience? Because that's what we do as a brand marketer. What I'm doing is I'm going to place my brand and position it by attaching myself to certain keywords, certain trends, certain conversations. Those are all things that I do top of mind. I don't just trust an algorithm to say, hey, I want to search up for XYZ Google SEO term. And knowing that, that's what we're good at. We've done that for the past 20 years. In the next 10, we probably will not be doing that. We probably will be allowing the algorithm to say, hey, this is where you should best place the content, but I want you to give me content that is engaging, that is entertaining, that is informative, and that is short form. So with that being said, I'm curious to any questions you might have. I might actually have to hop off in a moment here. But what I will do is respond to anyone that jumps in the comments. If you find me on LinkedIn, we can have a one-on-one conversation there as well. And last but not least, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for taking a look at this deep dive into TikTok and how I would use it as a brand marketer. With that being said, if you like this format, please let me know. This is something new. We're using the Feedly interface. Feedly is something that I use to read all of my trends and things that are happening within the news in a central place. And at the end of the day, it makes it easy for me. This is an easier way for me to just have a stream of consciousness, but show you some of the trends that I'm seeing in real time and what my thoughts are on that. Obviously, if I've got more opinions, I'll make it in a more polished, Inevitable Human article. And if you want to know where the future thinkers of the world are hanging out, you should probably check out inevitablehuman.com. On that note, I'm out, and I will catch you in the future.